Have you ever felt the cold, creeping tendrils of doubt wrap around your spirit? Not just at the precipice of a monumental decision, but in the quiet moments, the everyday choices, the very fabric of your being. That insidious whisper, a subtle sabotage from within, questioning your worth, your capabilities, your very right to dream and to achieve. It's the subtle hand on your shoulder that pulls you back, the persistent echo that tells you, not yet, not you. What if that pervasive uncertainty, that nagging feeling of not being enough, isn't a flaw in your character, a weakness to be purged, but a profound, albeit unmisunderstood, communication from the deepest, most archaic chambers of your psyche? A signal, disguised as paralysis, pointing towards unacknowledged truths within you. You know the feeling intimately. It manifests as that heavy cloak of hesitation, preventing you from stepping into the light of your potential, pulling you back just as you reach for what you truly desire, be it a new career, a deeper relationship, or a creative endeavor calling to your soul. It's the endless loop of what if that drowns out the quiet knowing within you, leaving you adrift in a turbulent sea of indecision, constantly second-guessing every instinct. You feel it physically, the tightening of your chest, the gnawing churn in your gut, the frantic, circular scramble of thoughts that never quite coalesce into definitive clarity, leaving you mentally exhausted and emotionally drained.
This isn't just fleeting nervousness, it's a chronic, debilitating inner conflict, a profound disconnection from your own authentic power and purpose. It's the reason brilliant ideas remain locked away, unexecuted, heartfelt words unspoken, dying on the tongue, and courageous leaps untaken, forever lingering as tantalizing what-ifs on the horizon of your regret. You construct elaborate internal arguments, not primarily to convince others, but to desperately reassure a part of yourself that remains perpetually unconvinced, perpetually on guard, perpetually uncertain of its own validity. This constant internal negotiation is not only exhausting, it's soul-crushing, isn't it? It robs you of your presence, your joy, your vital essence, stealing momentum from your very existence. It creates an ever-widening chasm between who you are and who you know, deep down, you could be. A silent battleground where your highest aspirations are perpetually ambushed by an unseen inner enemy. This isn't merely about lacking superficial confidence. It's about a fundamental rift in your self-perception, a deep-seated, often unconscious belief that your own judgments, your own instincts are inherently unreliable, untrustworthy. But here's the profound, transformative truth that we are poised to unearth. This debilitating uncertainty, this seemingly insurmountable self-doubt, is not a personal failing to be vanquished by sheer force or brute will. Instead, it is often a symptom, a complex echo reverberating from the unexamined caverns of your unconscious mind. It is the manifestation of the shadow, that vast repository of disowned aspects of self, of unintegrated experiences, of fears both intensely personal and collectively inherited, passed down through the vast tapestry of human experience and culture. Your conscious ego, with all its linear logic and rational reasoning, often finds itself helpless against this torrent, precisely because the true source lies in a realm it rarely visits, a language it rarely understands, the expansive, often enigmatic landscape of your deepest psyche. It's the silent pacts made in the crucible of your formative years, the unexamined fears passed down through generations, the archetypal whispers of caution that, while perhaps once protective, now bind you to a smaller, less vibrant existence. But what if I told you that this very struggle, this deep-seated inner conflict, holds within it the undeniable key to your profound liberation? What if it's not a weakness to be suppressed or overcome, but a potent communication, a sacred call to understanding, a forgotten map to your inner compass waiting to be deciphered and utilized?
Today, we embark on a journey, not into superficial affirmations or fleeting motivational fixes, but into the very heart of your own psyche, guided by the timeless, illuminating wisdom of Jungian thought. We will journey to the depths where this doubt first took root, not to condemn it, but to understand its intricate origins, to integrate its lessons, and ultimately to transform its power into clarity and conviction. We will explore how your unconscious mind, often perceived as a chaotic repository of fears, is in fact a wellspring of untapped power, an ancient oracle brimming with profound wisdom and guiding archetypal forces, waiting for your conscious attention. Prepare for an unearthing, an intellectual and emotional revelation that promises to fundamentally shift your perception of yourself. This isn't just about feeling better, it's about becoming truly whole, about initiating the alchemical process of individuation, the journey to becoming the complete, unique self you were meant to be. It's about recovering your inherent inner authority, silencing the insidious whispers of the unexamined shadow, and finally, unequivocally, trusting yourself with an unshakable inner knowing that guides your every step. By understanding the language of your unconscious, you will not just mitigate self-doubt, you will dismantle its very foundation, paving the way for a life lived with unwavering clarity, decisive purpose, and authentic, uninhibited self-expression.
You will discover that the answers you seek, the certainty you crave, the profound strength you yearn for, have always resided within you, waiting patiently for you to awaken to their formidable presence. This isn't just a video, it's an invitation to an internal revolution, a journey to reclaim the sovereign self that has been waiting patiently beneath layers of conditioned uncertainty, ready to emerge in its full, undeniable, transformative power. We've all felt it, haven't we? That insidious whisper in the quiet chambers of our minds, the one that questions our worth, our capabilities, our very right to occupy space and pursue our deepest yearnings. It's the phantom limb of unfulfilled potential, the gnawing sensation that leaves us perpetually on the precipice of action, yet rooted by an invisible force. You stand before a daunting opportunity, and just as you prepare to leap, a chilling certainty descends. You are not enough, or perhaps you don't deserve this. This isn't just a fleeting thought, it's a deeply woven narrative, a psychological wound humming beneath the surface of our conscious awareness, orchestrating our hesitations, our retreats, our self-sabotage. But where does this wound truly originate? Is it merely a product of circumstance, a collection of past failures, or an echo of external criticisms? While these certainly play their part, the roots burrow far deeper into the uncharted wilderness of our psyche. It's here, in the subterranean currents of our being, that the architects of our limitations reside. And to truly understand this, we must turn to the profound insights of Carl Jung, for he illuminated the very concept that holds the keys to this invisible prison, the shadow.
Jung's shadow isn't merely the dark side of our personality, as it's often superficially understood. It's far more complex, far more vital. The shadow represents the sum total of all the personal qualities that we, in our conscious ego, have deemed unacceptable, undesirable, or unworthy of expression. Think of it as a vast psychological cellar where we've banished aspects of ourselves, be it vulnerability, aggression, sexuality, ambition, creativity, because they were deemed inappropriate by our parents, our peers, our culture, or even ourselves at a young, impressionable age. Each time we were told to be quiet, don't be so emotional, don't be boastful, be tough, or don't ever show fear, a part of our authentic self was silently exiled to this hidden domain. These exiled parts don't simply vanish. They recede into the unconscious, accumulating energy and influence from the depths, forming a powerful, often subversive, counter-will. Consider this for a moment. The very traits we project onto others and despise in them, the flaws we obsessively scrutinize in ourselves, the fears that paralyze us, these are often direct manifestations of our unacknowledged shadow. If you constantly doubt your intelligence, perhaps there's an exiled part of you that fears being perceived as ignorant, a part that was once shamed for asking too many questions. If you hesitate to pursue your dreams, fearing failure, it might not just be the fear of failure itself, but the fear of confirming an unconscious belief harbored in your shadow that you are fundamentally inadequate or undeserving of success. The shadow holds the repressed aspects of our potential just as much as it holds our perceived darkness. The part of you that yearns for greatness, for recognition, for bold self-expression can also be relegated to the shadow if, early on, these desires were met with disapproval, deemed too arrogant, too selfish, or too risky. So, how does this Jungian concept connect directly to the pervasive self-doubt and chronic uncertainty that plagues your life? Imagine your conscious mind as a brightly lit stage. You, the ego, are the star, trying to perform your best. But beneath the stage, in the darkness, your unintegrated shadow figures are constantly stirring, making noise, perhaps even subtly sabotaging the lighting or pulling at your costume. You consciously desire success, confidence, and peace, but unconsciously, your shadow might be whispering, "You're an imposter, you're going to fail, you're not good enough." This isn't just background noise, it's a profound internal conflict. The parts of you that you've denied, repressed, or judged as unworthy don't cease to exist. They merely operate outside your conscious control, manifesting as the very uncertainty that cripples your ambition and stunts your growth.
Have you ever found yourself inexplicably sabotaging your own success, just as you were on the verge of a breakthrough? That's often the shadow at play, resisting the new, the integrated, the whole, because its very existence relies on the disintegration of the self. Have you felt an overwhelming urge to procrastinate on a task that is crucial to your progress, despite knowing its importance? It could be the shadow's fear of exposure, of revealing a part of you that is either magnificent or flawed, a part that has been locked away for too long. This deep-seated uncertainty isn't merely a lack of confidence in your skills. It is a profound uncertainty in your wholeness, a doubt rooted in the unacknowledged, unintegrated aspects of your own being. It's the psychological wound of a fractured self yearning to be made whole. The deeper truth is, you doubt yourself not because you are inadequate, but because you have unconsciously disowned parts of your own power, your own authentic nature, banishing them to the shadow, where they fester and project their fears back onto your conscious aspirations. The journey to eliminate self-doubt forever begins by venturing into this profound psychic wound, not to fear it, but to understand and ultimately to integrate it.
Enough of the gentle explorations. Enough of the nuanced dissections of the psyche from a comfortable distance. The time has come for a reckoning, an unsparing gaze into the crucible of your own making. We must now turn the mirror unsparingly upon the most inconvenient truth, to confront the profound and often unacknowledged cost of residing within the shadowlands of self-doubt. This isn't an intellectual exercise, it's an intervention, a call to consciousness that demands absolute honesty from the deepest chambers of your being. What has this unending loop of what-if truly cost you? Dare to answer, not with glib justifications, but with the raw honesty of your soul. How many dawns have you greeted with the phantom weight of unattempted dreams, ideas stillborn in the womb of apprehension? Look into the abyss of your untapped potential. What brilliant constellations remain unformed, obscured by the dense nebula of your hesitation?
How many whispers of your authentic self have been drowned out by the cacophony of internal critics? At what altar have you consistently sacrificed your audacious vision, your unique voice, your innate power for the fleeting, illusory comfort of the familiar, the safe, the known? This isn't merely about opportunities missed. It's about a life unlived, a self unexpressed, a journey perpetually deferred. Do you feel it, that constant, insidious drain on your vitality, that pervasive sense of weariness that no amount of rest seems to fully alleviate? This isn't just physical fatigue, it is a profound psychic hemorrhaging, an internal conflict that siphons your very essence. Every moment spent agonizing over a decision, every bold move aborted due to predicted failure, every debate waged against your own deepest knowing, each is a potent siphon, drawing vital energy from your core. Your unconscious, that boundless reservoir of primordial wisdom, constantly attempts to guide you, to nudge you towards your truest path. It offers symbolic dreams, sudden insights, undeniable impulses. But your conscious mind, ensnared by doubt, battles it, resists it, creating a chasm of internal friction. This perpetual, unacknowledged conflict is the furnace consuming your very essence, depleting your precious psychic energy, preventing its natural flow towards creative expression and authentic living. Imagine for a moment the sheer magnitude of this psychic energy currently trapped, swirling in the eddy of your indecision. What masterpieces could it forge? What connections could it weave? What groundbreaking ideas could it bring to fruition if liberated from the shackles of your internal resistance? Think of it as a river of life force meant to flow freely. Instead, it is dammed, stagnated, its power wasted in the effort of its own containment, generating not power, but only the corrosive friction of internal tension. This unceasing, subterranean struggle against your own deeper nature leaves you depleted, hollowed out. It's a self-inflicted siege where the most valuable resources, your time, your passion, your drive, are squandered fighting an internal phantom rather than invested in building your reality. But perhaps the most agonizing cost, the deepest wound inflicted by this pattern, is the pervasive act of self-abandonment. This isn't merely about failing to achieve external success. It's about failing to be the self you are fundamentally meant to embody. When you defer your true desires, silence your unique voice, or shrink from your inherent power, you are, in essence, abandoning yourself. You are walking away from the person you are meant to become, the authentic you that yearns for expression. Is there a more profound betrayal than to deny your own soul the chance to flourish, to become the integrated individual it craves? You are not merely postponing actions, you are postponing your very existence in its most vibrant, truthful form. You are implicitly or explicitly telling your unconscious self that its profound urges and its spontaneous wisdom are secondary to your fears. This deliberate turning away from your inner truth creates a pervasive inner emptiness, a gnawing sense of being disconnected from your own core. It is the quiet tragedy of a life lived on the periphery of one's own truth. This self-abandonment manifests as a persistent ache, a subtle but profound melancholia, because the self knows what you are denying it, and it registers this denial as a wound, a severing from its unifying power. You become a stranger to yourself, an echo in your own life, rather than the vibrant, fully present author of your destiny. This is the heavy price, the psychic toll exacted by the insidious tyranny of self-doubt.
We have journeyed through the labyrinth of self-doubt, peered into the shadowy depths of the unconscious, and illuminated the hidden architects of our deepest insecurities. Now we stand at the precipice of a profound reorientation, a radical shift that isn't merely a change of perspective, but a complete recalibration of your very being. This is not about patching up old wounds. It is about cultivating an entirely new soil from which your future will blossom. This is the new path, paved not with fleeting assurances, but with the bedrock of internal sovereignty. The solution to the incessant hum of self-doubt lies not in external validation, nor in the frantic pursuit of control. It resides in an act of profound self-possession, a courageous alignment with the immutable core of your being. Imagine, if you will, a deep, resonant silence as your newfound power. Not the absence of sound, but the presence of an unwavering inner stillness. This is the silence that precedes creation, the sanctuary where your authentic self truly resides, untainted by the clamor of societal expectations or the echoes of past traumas.
This silence is an active force, a profound listening that allows you to discern the whispers of your deeper unconscious, now no longer a source of fear, but a wellspring of profound wisdom. It is in this silence that the clamoring voices of doubt, judgment, and fear begin to dissipate, finding no resonance. They simply dissolve into the quiet authority of your presence. And from this silence emerges a potent, unyielding consciousness, not merely as awareness, but as a living shield and a beacon. This isn't about an intellectual understanding, it's about a fully embodied, luminous presence. Your consciousness, now refined and focused, acts as an energetic field, a protective aura that repels incongruence. It is a shield, not of aggression, but of crystalline clarity. Simultaneously, it becomes a beacon, radiating your inherent authenticity, drawing towards you experiences and individuals that resonate with your true vibration. This is the conscious ego, having bravely faced and integrated its shadow, now standing in unwavering alignment with the wisdom of the self. You no longer merely exist, you radiate. You are no longer tossed about by external winds. You become the steadfast lighthouse. What happens when you adopt this new posture, rooted in the power of silence and the unwavering light of conscious presence? The transformation is immediate and profound, rippling through every facet of your existence. Firstly, the wrong people simply walk away. This is not a painful severance, but an organic, natural selection. Those who thrived on your self-doubt, who unconsciously fed on your need for external validation, will find nothing to latch onto. Your new solidity, your quiet self-possession, become unappealing to them. They are like parasitic vines that find no purchase on the smooth, unyielding bark of a magnificent oak. This departure is not a loss, it is a profound liberation, creating sacred space for genuine connections to emerge. You cease to be a mirror reflecting their flaws, and instead become a window showcasing your own unwavering light. Secondly, and perhaps most beautifully, authentic respect emerges. Not superficial admiration, not fear, but a deep, genuine veneration for your integrity, your self-possession, your quiet strength. People sense your internal congruence, your lack of pretense, your unwavering connection to your true self. They perceive your intrinsic value because you are now vibrating with it from within. You command respect not by demanding it, but by simply being it. Your boundaries, once a source of struggle, now become effortless. They are not walls built of fear, but the natural perimeter of your sovereign self, a testament to your sacred space. Others intuitively understand and honor them because they perceive your inherent worth. Thirdly, decisions become strikingly clearer. The fog of war that once clouded your mind dissipates entirely. Your intuition, now unburdened by self-doubt, speaks with a resonant clarity. Actions are no longer born from desperation or a frantic need to please, but from a calm, centered knowing that emanates from your authentic self. This is the voice of your integrated psyche, the conscious and unconscious working in harmonious concert, guiding you along your true path. And finally, your unconscious, once a source of self-sabotage, becomes your most powerful ally. Having been acknowledged and integrated, it now works for you. It feeds you creative insights, profound intuitions, and an unshakable inner knowing. The vast reservoir of wisdom within you now freely flows, empowering your conscious choices. This is the very essence of individuation, the Jungian path towards becoming the complete, unique, and integrated individual you were always meant to be. You are no longer at war with yourself. You are a fully aligned, potent force, ready to embrace the journey of your magnificent existence with purpose and unwavering certainty. This is not the end of learning, but the true beginning of living.
The dust settles. The echoes of old fears, once a cacophony in the chambers of your mind, begin to fade into a resonant silence. We have journeyed through the labyrinth of the unconscious, confronted the shadows that breed self-doubt, and peered into the mirror of the self, not merely to see reflections, but to witness the deep, intricate architecture of who you truly are. This moment, right now, is not an end, but a pivotal threshold, a chrysalis shedding, a profound awakening. You stand at the precipice of your own becoming, poised for a rebirth into the fullness of the self you were always meant to be, unburdened by the weight of inherited doubts or the illusion of powerlessness. For too long, the currents of uncertainty have dictated the rhythm of your heart. Self-doubt, like a silent thief, has stolen your most potent moments, your whisper-thin opportunities, and the vibrant hue of your inherent potential. But having navigated the subterranean rivers of your unconscious, you are no longer a passenger adrift. You are the cartographer, the captain, the architect. The Jungian journey of individuation is not merely an intellectual pursuit. It is a visceral experience of integration, of reclaiming fragmented parts of the soul, weaving them into a tapestry of wholeness. You have glimpsed the interplay of light and shadow within, understood the symbolic language of your dreams and fears, and in doing so, you have begun to disarm the very mechanisms that once held you captive. This is the ultimate freedom, the liberation from the internal tyrant, the quiet revolution of the self. This rebirth is not a gentle unfurling, it is a conscious, seismic shift. It's the moment you choose to stand unyielding against the tides of external expectation and internal criticism. It's the visceral understanding that uncertainty is not a void to be feared, but the fertile dark matter from which new worlds are born. Your unconscious, once perceived as a source of bewildering impulses, is now understood as a vast reservoir of wisdom, a powerful ally waiting for your conscious direction. To integrate these insights means to transform your relationship with life itself. You are no longer merely reacting to circumstances. You are actively, deliberately, and with profound intention creating them. The power to eliminate self-doubt forever lies not in eradicating every challenge, but in cultivating an unshakable faith in your own capacity to meet whatever arises, armed with self-knowledge and an integrated spirit. It's an act of radical self-acceptance, a defiant declaration that you are worthy, capable, and fundamentally sovereign. This is the climactic crescendo of our journey together, the moment for you to actively, consciously step into this new paradigm.
A declaration is more than just words. It is an energetic signature, a sacred contract with your deepest self, and a potent signal to the universe of your unwavering intent. It is the ritualistic severing of ties with the old, diminished self, and a full-throated embrace of the empowered, whole being you now recognize yourself to be. By giving voice to this transformation, you solidify the epiphany within, anchoring it not just in your mind, but in the very core of your being. This isn't about escaping uncertainty. It's about transcending it, transforming it into a launching pad for your truest self. It's about consciously planting a new seed in the fertile soil of your psyche, a seed of unwavering resolve, nurtured by the light of self-knowledge and the unwavering power of your integrated unconscious.
So I invite you, right here, right now, to engage in an act of profound self-sovereignty. Let this be your public declaration, your personal ritual of rebirth. In the comments below, speak your truth, engrave your intention, and join a collective of awakened souls who choose to live from a place of conscious power. Write these words and feel their resonance deep within your bones, throughout every fiber of your being. I reclaim my sovereign self. Feel the weight of those words. Feel the liberation they promise. This is not merely an affirmation. It is an act of creation. It is you, consciously, irrevocably stepping into the fullness of your power. But remember, this rebirth is a beginning, not an end. The journey of conscious living, of mastering the intricate dance between your conscious will and your unconscious depths, is continuous. To truly cement this transformation, to learn the practical alchemy of living from this place of reclaimed sovereignty, you must continue to explore, to integrate, to grow. Your next step awaits. Join me in the next video, where we will delve deeper into the daily practices and profound shifts required to not just embrace your sovereign self, but to truly live it every single day, sculpting a reality that reflects your deepest truth. The journey continues, and your awakened self is ready to lead the way. See you in the next video.